Hello friends, welcome and namaskar. If you want insight of our data or create some sort of reports from available data, then the fastest way for doing that is using pivot table. Let's say you have data of a software development company who is having a range of different customers and for a product and a mix of developers of different streams like who are working on new developments or resolution of issues. This data represents as a tracker of tasks provided for the product and provides detailed information regarding many things. Many things like what kind of requirement issues are coming from which customer, which customer is giving requirement or which customers of we have sorted this data in different modules, right? So what kind of data or what kind of requirements they are giving to us, in which module we are getting more issues, like if we count that which module is having more issues and which module is properly developed so that is not getting any issue, which developer working or about to work on particular task, means what is their schedule and how they are performing their task, like what was the plan, what was the they have scheduled for next 1 month or next quarter or next 15 days, right? So what is actual timelines of completion of task? What is current status of our task, right? So out of this data, we might require to get many information. Like we can expend a number of MIAs or information from this data, right? We need to know that what is the productivity of our developers, how much points they are completing in within a particular time frame, what is current bucket of different status, like how much is completed, how much is pending, what it need to be approved, what need to be get done, right? What is deployed, what is expected date of completion, what is the time of completion of all the points or all the product, which customer is more satisfied, which customer satisfaction is low and who is providing more issues, and like this we can have multiple issues, right? So using pivot table, it can be done faster than it takes to make a cup of coffee, right? So before a cup of coffee is prepared, we can actually prepare a pivot table. So let's get started. So in this example, we have task list of a software development company. So now before starting the to insert pivot table, we need to make sure that our data should be organized in a proper format, like we can see here, right? So each column should have a header. We have header for all the columns, right? Hmm. And there should not be empty columns in the middle, or so if it is the case like this, so it is not accepted in pivot table, right? So or if any case is like we have a blank row between this, so this will also give wrong information to our pivot table, right? So if this is the case, then firstly we need to normalize our data, right? So after means normalize means we need to remove those rows and we need to remove those columns if anything have blank records, right? So once normalization is done, we are ready to insert our pivot table. So to do so, we need to go to insert and click on this pivot table button, right? So, but we can see that it is showing a table or table range. So it is showing A1 to K569. So A1, it is starts from A1 and it ends at K. You can see K is here and 569 row number. So it ends at K15. So this is until where I have complete data, right? So I have columns and data in my rows. So it is end up like this. But in future, like after 10, 15 days or after a month, when some more tasks are being added, then those will not be considered in our end report. Why? Because we have our data range up to 569 row number, right? So either I need to update my data range at that time, before generating report, and I would rather avoid this step so that quickly I can generate my report and show up to my management teams, right? So what I need to do before I insert a pivot table, I will turn this data in an official Excel table format, right? So that this has to be added advantage that whenever I get new data added, my pivot table will automatically refresh the moment I press refresh, right? For this, I need to convert this in uh, table format, right? So table format, we already know that we already learned about this in our previous chapters. So we have an option in home and styles format, and we have an option like format as table. So we just click on this any of the format, right? I will not go deep down in this how what are the formats that we have, but I will just click on this and okay, and it is converted in a official table format, right? So we can see that table is now available, right? So now that we have a table, we will go back to insert and click on this pivot table button again. See what happened. Now it is showing a table 3 range, right? As our table expand with new data, then that will be automatically included in our pivot table. Getting this? Right. One more option we have, and that is even an easier way to insert a pivot table, and that is clicking on this recommended pivot table button. These are actually quite smart. They must just give you exactly what is required, what you are looking for, or they might help you get the faster start, right? So if anybody is not having much idea on regarding pivot table, then he just click on this recommended pivot table. It will show multiple options of pivot table. So for example, here I have the sum of task by status, like count of task by status, count of task by number, sum of task number by status, right? And modules and likewise, right? So or likewise we have, so I can go with that, just select it, and I will just click on this and click on OK. So it is already, this is the result of my table. It does all the aggregation for me, and it is giving complete sum of tasks. Like if I'm wrong, then I need to click this and count. So it is now it is giving me a summary of tasks in with various status, right? So we have multiple status in our data table, like developed, developed, deployed, approved, developed, hmm, release pending, or testing pending. These are actually SDLC phases. So we just got those data in a summary format, right? So now on the side, we get the pivot table fields. We have all the pivot table fields here, but you can see I have them organized where the fields are on one side, and the boxes that define the layout of my pivot table on the other side. Means these are the boxes, and this is my layout, and how the pivot table will look like. That's an option you can select here. Now, if for some reason you don't want to see the count of tasks, but rather you want to see something else, right? For example, we need that how much tasks are in average approved, average in approved states. So it is showing out of 483 tasks are in average numbers, right? And let me choose another table format. One second. So I have this count of statements, right? So we have one count of status, right? Now we can change it from this value field settings, like instead of count we need average. We can click on this average setting, or we can do we can do through right click on here. So on right click we have same option, value field settings, and we'll click on this, and again we can choose as our requirement count, right? So if I click on right hand panel, I can also see value field settings. Now another thing we can do from right mouse click on as number format, right? So let's say I want to add decimals with my numbers. So I can select number format, right? And but so don't select format cells, because they just format the underlying cells. Number format is staying with our pivot table as it explains. So I will choose to go to number, use number and decimal places, right? And now you can adjust and update this pivot table as per your requirement, as per you set it, right? So for example, if I wanted to look count of tasks on the basis of developer instead of status, so I can do directly like this. I will drag and drop this developer here in rows and remove this status column. So I am getting count of tasks according to our this. I need to remove this decimal place, right? It is giving improper information converted, right? So like we can change according to our data. We can also choose multiple fields for a more complex report. Like if I want to see count of tasks on the developer wise or status wise or module wise, etc. So let's do this. We have data for the developer and count of tasks, right? So we also need this report on the basis of status. So now system is showing the Brijesh Khanna developer has developed 7 points and one is in deployment mode, means that is live. So totally till now he has done worked on 8 points, right? And 81 points are in approved state, and 294 tasks are in development pending stage. So this is the summary of all the points, right? We also see or add some filter options here. So we can filter according to our module, or as per our customer, or as per like if I click on this customer and drag and drop this in customer here, and if I choose, we have multiple options, right? So if I choose, I need to check only public limited banks, right? So I will click and it will remove the state uh, kind of bank, state bank, right? If I want to see state report, then it will show only state related data. I can add one more filter option, right? So if I want to check CASA format, it will show CASA report. So, right? Sorry. Mhm. So we also automatically get the grand totals here, and both the side means vertical and horizontal. Now you might want to update the design of a pivot table. So for example, under grand totals, you might decide it should be deactivate, right? So you don't want to see the grand totals. So we have options for removing these grand totals from rows and columns, or from rows or for columns. Like if I click on this, so it is showing for rows only, right? And if I click again on this on for columns, it will show for columns total only. Right? I will again click on rows and columns, right? So like this. So now as for the layout of your report, the layout that I presently prefer is to shows in a tabular format, right? This gives the column headers to each of the column fields here. We can change the format here according to our requirement. And now you have the ability to collapse fields or expand fields, right? So if you want to take away this ability, you can go to pivot table analyze field, and you need to click on this toggle here, and it takes away, right? Like this. If you click again, it brings everything, right? So suppose in future or accidentally you clicked on this remove close of it, right? So and again you want to see the pivot table fields list, then you just need to go this analyze and click on this field list button, then it will come back here. Okay, but I just want to show you one thing before we wrap up, and that's how easy it is to add slicer buttons to your pivot table, right? So, for example, let's say in this pivot table, we want to see details of customers wise, details according to customers. So now whether we need to add this in pivot table fields, like we can add this in filter or as in row, and system will show customer name always. Or we have this cool feature to insert the slicer. So we just click on this and we choose a customer name on the fly, and system will update report accordingly, right? So we move this here and we'll click on this public bank or state bank, and it will change this accordingly. So now for your slicer also, you can also get slicer options, right? We have one new tab as slicer tool. So through this tool, we can update the design of slicer, right, like this, or we can also adjust the number or columns or height or width. Like if it choose this as 2, then it will show like this. If I have multiple options in this, uh, let me show this. Like go and click on this status, right? So we have multiple options now, and if I click on 3, then it will show data in 3 columns, right? We can also change height and width of this, right? So this is also a cool feature, and along with this, we have one more option that is we have, and I want to include this before wrapping up. We can add timelines also for our reports. So timelines is also with us here. Like we want to move our cursor and set the timelines, and accordingly data will move. Like we have one option, timelines is showing only date related data. It will not show customer or module name or point. It will always show data or fields related to dates or time, right? So that we can move our cursor and show the data accordingly, right? So we can choose actual end date, right? Now in actual end date, right now system is showing complete data. So like if I click on this February, so it will show data which is having February completion date. Now it is showing data for February to July 2023, right? And if I choose this, so it will show February to November 2023 data, right? Accordingly, as per the selection, system will change the data, right? So as like slicer, we also have option of designing or changing the designs of our timelines fields. Like we can change the color or we can adjust the height or width according to our. Okay. So as a last step, uh, we are just going to make sure that everything update automatically the moment we get new data in our table. So I'm just going to expand this, and let me choose this. I will, uh, let's add a new task here, right? So I will click this, and let's choose a state bank and general module and task 569, and I will add a new developer name also. Name could be anything, like I will choose as Lalit, and status I will choose as approved, right? So now let's go back to our pivot table, and all we need to do, just pick any of this pivot table anywhere, and just right mouse click and refresh, because they have the same pivot cache. They are all going to update automatically together. We can see the new tasks, whether I did or not. Yes, one new task is added here, right? So that is in approved state. Name is also coming. Task numbers are also increased. So we didn't need to add or update the our data range. In case of data range exist, we didn't converted this in table, right? So we need to check data from here source, change data source. So we can change data source from here, and accordingly data will reflect. So before I sign out, let's summarize the benefits of pivot table. Pivot table helps you get answers from your data without you having to write complex formulas. It's very easy, very fast to create a pivot table, and it's really easy to use one. It helps you find relationship between your data, and you can also visualize these with a pivot chart. But that's a topic for another video. I will cover these pivot charts in another topics, right? So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I am going to see you in the next video. Bye bye. Thanks.